Good evening. So a while ago, I made a video about this bike right here. It's a 1973 Nishiki Custom Sport I bought from a Goodwill for 60 bucks. And apparently you guys liked the video enough to view it almost 10,000 times. Consider this to be a follow-up. I consider this bike to be the best $60 I ever spent, and maybe by the end of this video it'll be the best $60 that you've ever spent. I've ridden this enough and had enough experience with it to know that I could easily recommend it to anybody. I have many reasons for this, but first and foremost, functionality. I mentioned in my prior video that I use this for long distance rides from 20 to 30 miles, and I've loved it. It's been fun and responsive, and honestly it's just great quality. Road bike geometry hasn't changed a whole lot in 50 years, so something like this honestly isn't too horribly different than something from today. So in some ways it feels just as good as a modern road bike would. Now I upgraded from this as my primary road bike because I got a good deal on a Klein Quantum. So I've since retired this and now I'm using it as a cruiser. This thing was great when I bought it and I've since upgraded it. I switched to flat bars and a new rear derailleur since when I bought it the old one was shot. New tires. But after the upgrades, it's really a great bike, something much better than you would get from a budget entry-level bike in these days. I really like the functionality of this bike, but I love the durability. Watch this. In all seriousness though, it is a rigid steel frame that's every bit as reliable as it is fun to use. And even some of the componentry on this bike has lasted 50 years and shows no signs of quitting soon. Now this is a 10-speed system, which means 2 gears in the front, 5 in the back. One of the main advantages to this kind of drivetrain was the durability. Here's a 5-speed chain and freewheel compared to a 9-speed chain and cassette. Now, the difference between the two is quite noticeable pretty immediately. Like that 5-speed is going nowhere, whereas the 9-speed, it's a bit thinner and it wears out quicker. And I'm not trying to say a 5-speed is better than a 9-speed. I'm just saying that in almost all cases, the 5-speed is gonna be more durable. Just look at the teeth on this freewheel. I mean, this bike has seen 50 years of use, of hard use, and that freewheel is looking brand new. This bike takes the initiative to go to the dentist at least twice a year. It brushes and flosses every night and every morning. And this is how it has amazing teeth 50 years into its life. The dental hygiene on this kind of bike is unmatched by any bike. Some modern bikes, such as this one, can have reasonable dental hygiene. I mean, you can see that these teeth are a bit more small and worn down because they wear out a lot quicker. Although they are clean, I'll give it that. But again, they're also like kind of crooked and have grooves in them. It kind of looks like they need braces, actually. And then these teeth look like they belong to somebody who's been smoking a pack a day since they were 12 years of age. So a vintage road bike has a lot going for it. They're very durable, practical, functional, and their teeth are great. But perhaps my favorite aspect of a bike like this is the value. One of the main reasons I bought this bike was because I didn't really have a lot of money to spend on bikes at the time. So I snagged this for $60 at a Goodwill. I was thrifty with getting parts and stuff to upgrade it and repair it, often getting stuff from my local co-op or ordering generic stuff off of Amazon. But I'd say right now I'm about 150 bucks into it, but it rides like new. This is definitely the most bike you're gonna get for 150 bucks. I had a friend who was in a similar boat as me, where he wanted to get into road riding, but he didn't have a whole lot of money to spend. I told him that maybe we should go for a ride sometime together. And he told me that he didn't have a bike because he left it out of middle school or got stolen out of middle school or broke out of middle school, something like that about a middle school. And then after that, he told me that he'd love to as soon as he could get around to getting a new one from Walmart. And I told him, no, No, of course not. No, absolutely not. No, don't do it. No. So I told him, hey, instead of plaguing yourself with the burden of a Walmart bike, why don't you get something used? I've said before on this channel that I work at a co-op, and that is a good thing because it gets me good stuff for cheap. Even without my discount, stuff there is comically inexpensive. So we got him a nice 80s road bike, something actually pretty similar to this. I remember when he bought it, it had flat bars. That's actually what convinced me to put flat bars on mine. But he paid a nice even $100 for something that was exponentially better than anything you could get from Walmart, and also cheaper than what you could get at Walmart. But his bike's been going since the 80s, and it's gonna keep on going for much longer, I guarantee it. And this is exactly what I would recommend to you. Visit a co-op, get on Facebook Marketplace, or even pull one out of the trash. I mean, a lot of people look at these vintage road bikes and think that nobody's ever gonna want them, they're not really worth anything. And to some degree, there is some truth to that. But you can find some just laying around, pull it out of the trash, buy it real cheap, used. But it's great value. Something else I love about these bikes is their versatility. Like, I used mine as a road commuter for a while. Not like a race bike, but just something that I went on long distance rides with. And right now I have it set up as a cruiser. Like, I got the flat bars here and the flat bar brake levers. And I got some grippier tires on here. If you wanted to set one up as a gravel bike or a CX bike, then most of these vintage frames will have enough tire clearance for that. These also work great for bike packing just because of the amount of racks you can put on it, and then also that's where the durability comes in. I even have a second one here that is actually kind of 2-in-1. It's yeah, it's a monstrosity, but it's got a vintage frame on the bottom, and then I have no idea what this is. I think it's a bit more modern though. But yeah, if you want to make something stupid out of it, then nothing's stopping you. So lastly, I think it's worth noting that, well, they're cool. I mean, every Mustang owner's dream is to own a 60s or 70s Mustang. So it should be every Trek owner's dream to own a 60s or 70s Trek. This is a Nishiki, and modern Nishiki's kind of a joke. They got bought out by Dix a while ago, and now they make stuff that's kind of like Walmart grade, but they're not sold at Walmart. But if you're a Cannondale fan or a Trek fan, then it would be cool, in my opinion, to own a piece of that brand's history. But that about wraps it up. I hope I could have been some help to you, been a little bit persuasive. Even if you didn't take this seriously, then I still hope you enjoyed watching. God bless. Talk to you later.